Hey, good morning. It's 9:09 a.m. It is November 5th, 2020. It is Thursday morning. Let me just make sure it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. The week is flying by. I swear, just like yesterday, it was Sunday, and I was sitting there twiddling my thumbs, all bored, with nothing to do, and it's pretty much the same thing today. So anyway, I am going to be doing some house cleaning. I noticed the living room is getting a little bit disorderly, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick that up a little bit, as well as clean up the kitchen, which I do every day anyway. But anyway, so I wanted to make this video because I want to kind of summarize what happened in my life and this eye-opening experience that I went through. And for the last few days I've been having very strange dreams, and dreams sometimes are not necessarily prophetic. Sometimes it's regurgitation of what you experience, but it breaks it down in certain scenes, symbols, whatever things that had happened. Okay, and it doesn't always reflect what actually happened. Like, for example, I had a dream a few days ago about a girl I used to know many years ago. And the weird part about this dream was, it was like there was two of them, okay? Now, this girl is not a twin, but there was two of these girls that I used to know. And in reality, I only know one of them, okay? But the first one was sitting with me at a lunch counter, okay? And we were talking, and then her other twin comes up to me, and she was dressed differently to reflect two different personalities, okay? Like, the other girl was dressed more like, regular play-down jeans, tank top or t-shirt, the everyday type wear. And the next one was dressed more, I would say, festive or whatever. But there was by looking at them, you can tell there were two distinct personalities. And as we were talking, one of the girls they were saying that this is the difference between their names. Their names were the same, but they spelt them differently, right? So, and I woke up, I kept thinking, okay, I take dreams seriously, okay? Some of them are stupid. Some dreams are really stupid, and I don't think they have much meaning, but some dreams are indeed regurgitations of what was going on. So this dream was revealing to me that this girl that I used to know, that, and I have already come to figure this out on my waking day, hours, like, I have come to the conclusion that most of the people that I've known were like setups and arrangements by people that already knew me or knew of me because they had a connection with my family or whatever. But basically, she was showing two sides of herself. Like, I'm a hypocrite, these sort of things. And so anyway, and then I had another dream of, someone else I used to know. And it was very strange. Like, we had this connection. Okay, like, this person had the same birthmark as I did, even though we're not related by any means or whatever. But it was basically saying that these are people who are clinging to me in my life. They're a part of my life, whether I want them to be or not. And I kept thinking, okay, so I'm having a lot of thoughts, okay? And I've been doing really good. I'd like to say I've been doing really good this week by keeping my mind off of what I consider this negativity. Because, it is an extremely negative thing. So I've been engaging myself in, certain hobbies when I have the energy, the emotional energy to do so. Because I will tell you, the demoralizing effect of knowing that there's people playing with your life in such an irresponsible manner, juggling your life, spreading rumors about you, doing all kinds of stuff to you that is painful to you, okay? In general, okay? But it's painful to me, okay? For many years, it's devastating, and it literally sometimes makes you feel like, well, what's the point in making a picture, on my wall, because who's to say if I even have a wall tomorrow, or will I ever have my own walls again? It's demoralizing, is what it is, okay? Because this is not my plan in life, okay? To be associated with people that have clearly shown that they don't want. They want to be around me, but they only want me around so they can abuse me. Okay? So no one wants to be in a situation where these people are, controlling your jobs and they're doing all kinds of abusive stuff to you. That's a very uncomfortable situation. So anyway, I'm trying to fast forward this video because I do have like certain things I have scheduled for today because I'm really trying to get back on being on schedule. I've always been the kind of person who's been very organized, believe it or not. Okay, I've always been very organized when it comes to things that I want to do. I prioritize, and so I'm like, okay, I've just been sitting around not following my own protocols, that have been doing for many years. So I need to get myself back where I need to be doing. Okay, if those were my regular things that made me tick, then I need to pick them back up. So I'm trying to schedule my time. But anyway, so I want to talk about the perp who got control of this little starship project of like launching and fucking my life over. Okay, so I want to talk about the girl from work. Okay, I believe I'm going to call her Selina Bruce Liles Graham with a question mark. And the reason why is, okay, I do not know this person that well. Okay, we worked together over at the Farmer's Place, which I had mentioned before. We worked together at the Farmer's Place, and I had mentioned before that there was a change in her behavior after I brought my ex-husband to the Christmas party, right? Before that, everyone was getting along really well. I mean, life was good at work and blah, 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 blah. So now I understand, and I get the whole picture, that this girl was far more involved than I thought she was, okay? And I mentioned before the movie Single White Female. Now, the reason why I brought this movie up is obviously I'm not white, okay? But this particular element, this particular disorder, this mental or personality disorder, but they call it bipolar. Yeah, I guess they refer to it as bipolar. No, it was actually something different. I mentioned it in my other video, okay? Anyway, it's basically when you have somebody who has a strange attachment to you. Okay, they might want you as a friend, but their reasons for their friendships are usually to do you harm. Okay, but they also kind of like you in a way. It's like, because they might admire something about you, whether that be your independence, maybe it might be your social circle. In this case, I think it was my social circle that I really didn't know that I even had an attachment to at all. Like, I had no idea the guy from high school was a part of this entourage or this network. I had no idea about that. Okay, I didn't figure this out until like later. Okay, I had no idea that my ex blood relations were involved in my work until these last few years where I started putting things together. Okay, but anyway, this girl was influenced, and she basically wanted to be a part of my life, but also took the opportunity to intermingle with these people and create havoc in my life. Okay, now I don't know this girl very well. When I first met her, I thought she was a sweet little old-fashioned girl. Like, I knew she came from a small town. And she seemed really polite. She had a little son, and I knew that she was a churchgoer, okay, but she never came off preachy or anything like that to me. But she always seemed, I knew that she had a working relationship with the general manager, who was a Seventh-day Adventist. And I don't know if she ever said she was Seventh-day Adventist, but she was somebody who observed the Sabbath on Saturday. That's all I know, okay? But anyway, I knew that there was some tension that arose, and I couldn't quite understand why. Because I've always really enjoyed my office environment and whatever. So it turned around overnight, and I noticed that she started wearing clothes to work that were really pretty. Like, I'm talking about nice dresses that you would normally see, like when you get dressed up and go to church. Okay, not all churches, dress up. So I've seen some people go to church in jeans, okay? But some churches, and I've noticed a lot of black churches, okay? I don't know if she went to a black church or not, but this is just an example, okay? When black people go to church, it's very dressy. Okay, I'm talking like pretty frilly dresses, with nicer prints on them, very feminine looking, and with high heels and stuff like that. And I thought that her outfits were really cute. I thought she spent a lot of money on them, because she was the kind of person that would buy brand new all the time, okay? And I thought that was nice, I mean, why not? I believe completely that people should dress well, because it helps your ability to feel comfortable. Okay, now I know that my dad told me a story when he was growing up about he was really, really poor. Okay, and it was a day where they had to take pictures for school, and he always said that he felt really self-conscious because his clothes were really ratty and tatty or whatever. So, his teacher let him borrow a sweater, and so he was able to take the class picture, and he didn't feel self-conscious. Okay, that's okay. But anyway, I believe that's fine. Okay, so I never had an issue with it. But I had noticed that people were starting to compare us, and I remember when I would go outside to do anything, like whether it was going to the bathroom, going to get a snack in the store, or whatever. The field workers would be the lady field workers. Okay, ladies are always talking. I don't care what, but women talk. Okay, they get together in groups and they're talking. Every time I'd come around, and it was an obvious sign that people were talking about me, and I couldn't quite understand it. Okay, I thought maybe because when you are working close to your boss, okay, meaning like your boss comes in your office or whatever, even though there's a window and there's a partition there and everyone can see what's going on or whatever, people make up stories. So I assumed that people thought that maybe I had a crush on my boss, which I didn't, okay, but I kept thinking, is this what they're talking about? This is exactly what I was thinking, what was going on. All this time I kept thinking people must think, because okay, putting things in perspective, okay, I will say that the owner and his wife were very good looking people. Okay, and anytime you see somebody who takes care of themselves, who presents themselves well, comes off as relatively handsome or whatever, people are always going to assume that you're going to like that person. Always. Okay, even though you're indifferent to that person, whatever, this is what they're going to do. They're always going to do this, okay? So this is what I thought these people were talking about. And I kept thinking, oh God, whatever. And I was really, at first I had this partition in my office, and I always kept it open. Okay, that way I wanted people to see there's nothing there, I'm not doing anything. But this is what I thought they were talking about. And I thought the girl in my office thought that I thought that this whole thing was revolved around just stupid gossip, right, about this particular issue. But it took me years to figure out exactly what was going on. Of all these people who were involved in my targeting, that means my blood relations. I'm talking about the guy from high school. And now, of course, I'm now referring also to my ex-husband. Now, I want to say really quick, because I really want to get my shit done today. I will say that that I understand what the comparison was. The comparison is that this girl was biracial, and I was being compared to this biracial girl based on the information that I told my husband many, many years ago. Okay, so this was a racial issue, okay, which, should have clicked in the minds of people. But, racism is very deep. Okay, it's very, very deep. And like as this is an example, okay, when people say racism doesn't exist, we've all witnessed in this community, and I'm referring to Bakersfield community and anyone else who has followed this story, okay, that yes, it does. Do not tell me that it doesn't. Okay, if you can shut a person out of employment based on something that is this obvious, okay, and it's this obvious. This is racism. Okay, and I know, and I'm not the kind of person that is, I'm not a Black Panther or anything like that, okay? I'm not like that, all right? But this is what it is. And see, the thing is that, growing up, I've always spoken well. And I will say, even though I hate my brothers and sisters, my ex-brothers and sisters, we speak well. We have a very good way of speaking, okay? We speak proper. Okay, growing up, I had a very wide range of different interests. I've always liked music. I didn't care if Simon and Garfunkel were black as coal or they were white as snow. I loved them, okay? So when I got around other kids, okay, I remember thinking that racism was something that my father's family went through. That happened a long, long time ago. I was confused. I knew that my father had issues, okay, with white people. Okay, I knew that. I was very much aware of it. But see, as a child, you don't see that because you're at a point in your life where you are associating yourself with other children. And I went to a predominantly white school. I grew up in a predominantly white area, okay? There were some black kids that were around me, but most of the kids that were, they were either boys, okay, which girls usually don't play with boys, or they were older than me, okay? So those interactions rarely happen. And when I did meet a black person, I'm going to bet you, I'll tell you what, I was like a black girl. One of the reasons why I was so in love, and when I'm talking about in love, I'm talking about platonic love, why I loved my friend so much in 8th grade, the girl who reintroduced me to the whole Jehovah's Witness religion, okay? I say reintroduced because my family had studied before, okay, but kind of opened my eyes to it and encouraged me to study it, is because she looked like me. You know, she looked like me. But growing up, I always thought that, you know, I didn't recognize how marginalized black people are. I had no really concept of that. Like, I knew that racism existed, but I knew there were some kids who did actually call me the N-word, but in my mind, I always thought, these are isolated cases. These are, you know, things that happen just because occasionally. It's not that big of an issue, but it is a big issue. And you start noticing it when you get into the workforce, okay? It is undeniable when you get into the workforce, okay? So I don't think much about the issue of me saying that I was half white, because I will say that when you call people on the phone or you're pretending to be a different identity, you usually do change what you're saying that you are. Okay, and I'm going to be upfront. I think biracial women, not all biracial women, but there's a lot of good-looking biracial women. When I was back in the 90s, I remember thinking, you know, Mariah Carey was very beautiful. Halle Berry was very beautiful. Now, I had an issue with Halle Berry at first because I didn't think she was that great of an actress, but I will say in the last few years, she has improved her acting abilities, okay? She's a very beautiful woman, okay? So, but there's really no connection. Now, I will say that I was naive. I didn't think that there was anything wrong with dating outside of your race. I figured, you know what, we probably have a lot in common. I do have a lot in common with white people, okay? That doesn't mean that I'm white. No, it doesn't. But I never understood, why is it that I can be on the same level, thinking level, understanding, you know, experience the same things, but I'm somehow always different. You know what I mean? Because that's that marginalization. That's that racism, okay, that I'm experiencing but didn't quite fully understand. And it is there. Okay? It is there. Okay? But anyway, so this is what was used against me. Okay? Now, I will say that when it comes to race, I have experienced a lot of racism in my life, okay? Undeniable racism, okay? And if I was somebody who wanted to be a militant black person and just take everything out on the white man, which I wouldn't, okay? But you could surely understand why I would. You could surely understand why someone like me would have major resentment or even hatred towards white people. I have every reason to hate every white person that I see. But I don't, okay? But I do understand that this sort of sickness is more widespread and it's far more common. Okay, institutional racism is a huge thing, okay? And it's encouraged, and there's generations of it. I had watched a video, and I wasn't aware of this woman's work, but she just confirmed a lot of my observations, as well as put things in perspective of things that I never even thought of before, okay? But I was glad to listen to what she had to say because, you know, it's eye-opening. Because I've experienced the same thing she's saying, and then she puts them in perspective. Now, I've always said that racism is something that is ingrained in white people. And they act like, you know, like the lady who brought her token black granddaughter into the workplace, right? And she did it for a purpose, okay? Knowing good and well she has deep-seated racist beliefs, okay? But yet she probably shows affection to her granddaughter. She probably does all these other things. But deep down in the side of her mind, if she wants to kick that black granddaughter of hers under the curb, she will do it. And in some ways, by bringing her ass in there or trying to prove a point, that's exactly what she did. Okay? It is deep. Okay? That's why you can have people in interracial marriages. You can have people in interracial marriages. And this white man might think that this woman is beautiful. He might think all that sort of stuff, but he's got some sort of weird fetish or something like that. You know, it is a very deep situation, and deeper than you can even imagine, especially as a child, okay? Growing up in a white neighborhood and having white playmates, okay? You think this way, okay? I don't really make much of what I said over 2 decades ago, but she saw it as an opportunity to elevate herself, and I'm referring to the girl at work, Selina Bruce Liles Graham, ? But she did. Okay, but I will say that I do understand that people want to elevate their status. If this, what I'm believing to be what happened, was this girl is a stalker who wanted to invade my personal life and people that I was involved with or indirectly involved with, okay? If this person was willing to do that, she is aware of the racism issue. Now, her ex-husband, the husband that I knew she had, I forgot his name, but he was a black man, okay? And I do think that she was interested and maybe perceived me to have more status than her because my ex-husband was white and that the guy from high school was white. So she wanted to ditch it out. And I ditch out the black dude or whatever and move up her status. I would like to say, when I got married, okay, to my ex-husband, status was not on my mind. I never asked this family to give me jobs. And I'm sorry that the employment system is so warped like that. I never asked them for a darn goddamn doodly thing. Never. Okay, when I married this person, and I will say that I married this person because at the time, the side that he showed me, I married him because I loved this person. That was it. It's like we can sit, we can chill, we can do this for all eternity. This is what we are going to do. That's cool, whatever. Okay, even though there were bumps and kinks or whatever, that I've never asked this man for a goddamn thing. And if he would have suggested me ask to do something like because of my own needs for protection and my own need to feel safe, I would have said no. That we can't do. We can't do that. No, I'm sorry. We can't do that. Okay? Because women should be protected. Okay? Now, when I think about interracial marriages, there's a lady on YouTube, and she does a lot of talking about, and I'm going to tell, her name is Cynthia G. Okay, Cynthia G is probably in her mid-20s, maybe. Very elegant looking woman. I love her. I think she's a great speaker. And she is a highly intelligent woman, okay? Which, she's another black woman, okay? So she talks a lot about these issues. And I appreciate her. Okay, do I agree with everything that she says? No. But even with the things that I don't agree with, I have to say she's got a point. Okay? But the thing is that she talks about interracial marriages, and she brought something in my up that I had thought about it before, but I think she referred to these back shelf brads. Okay, that there's a difference between some of these white men. Now, I will say white men have privilege in this country. They do. They have privilege. If you can abuse a woman outright in the open, financially strip her of her resources, and you look like something that just rolled out of bed with your camouflage shirt and your, unshaven face and, your shit, and people are, whatever. I'm not even going to go there, okay? Basically, some low-level person that really doesn't have the wealth or the financial backing that a lot of men in this town probably do. The generational wealth type people. The families who've had businesses here for a very long period of time, they're high society people. They drive nice cars. If they have the auto problems, they can either go out and get a new car, or they can get it fixed just like that. They don't have the everyday struggles. Okay, those are the kind of men, okay, that most black people don't end up getting. They usually get the white rejects that white women wouldn't touch. But she put it in perspective. And it's true. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. That's the reality. I never thought of it that way. But anyway, long story short, I don't really give a fuck, okay? The thing is that this girl is not my friend, okay? If you want to consider her a friend, I would say she's a parasite, is what I will call her. And I will say that her interactions with these men, or that I used to know, or indirectly knew, I'm referring to the guy from high school, you know what, go ahead and have these people, okay? Because both of these people, if what I'm thinking is correct, aren't worthy of me. So you go ahead and have them, okay? But your problems really aren't over. And the reason why I say this is because I know that there's a lot of biracial people that want to kick their blackness to the curb. And I understand why. Because like I said, it's a form of marginalization. But let's not forget, you may be half white, okay, but you're only half white. And you still got played in a game that exploited your racism. And you were more than willing to ditch your black side to associate or simulate into white culture. You know? And I think it's shameful. I really do. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not somebody who stirs up the racial pot. But I got accused of stirring up the racial pot. I didn't say anything. Like I said, once I left the farmer's place, I mosey on down to like a few employment agencies. I did some few job interviews. I guess people were working shit behind the scenes, and I ended up here, there, and everywhere, whatever. But each and every time, when I went to those job interviews, if some of the people asked me, well, you know, why did you leave your last employer? I always, see, I am the kind of person, I do everything professionally, okay? So I just said, you know, I needed a more professional environment. I was seeking new challenges, you know, whatever. I tried to say it in a way, because when you, at the job interview, I will talk shit about these employers on my YouTube channel, because they deserve to be talking shit about, okay? But I will not do it in a job interview, okay? And there's reasons why, okay? There's reasons why. I'm always going to try to soften it because I don't want to sound unprofessional, even though I know everybody in this community knows good and well what happened over at the farmer's place. Even before I knew what exactly happened at the farmer's place, because like I said, I thought all this other shit was going on. Okay? But still, out of the... So then I get to the point where it's like, you know, I guess I could just say, well, I'm a victim of human trafficking or something along those lines, okay? But I had no idea this was going on. You know? And you're basically, this is a community project, community entertainment to duel it out between two black women. One's biracial, who's better. It's exploitation. And no matter whether you think you're on the receiving end of being a winner in this stupid competition that's illegal, and the very fact that it's acknowledged by employers, they should be ashamed of their goddamn selves. Okay, which is another proof of their racism. Okay? It was wrong. It was very wrong, okay? And then the coming into my job interviews, oh God, it's getting late. Okay, the coming into my job interviews, I really want to stay on schedule this time, really do. The coming into my job interviews and playing hokey pokey and picking on my clothes. Look, bitch, okay? Your clothes are cute, okay? You're a nice looking girl, okay? I don't want to compete with you. I mean, almost 50 years, I've been calling myself 50 for the last few weeks now. Because in 2 more months, that's exactly what I'm going to be hitting. I will be 50 years old. I don't have time for your bullshit games. I don't care about these men, okay? Now, I will tell you, the guy from high school is a very good-looking person. He's a very good-looking person. But who gives a fuck? There's a lot of good-looking people out there. I'm sure Hitler, if he shaved off his mustache, back in the day, he was probably a strikingly good-looking man. Okay, I didn't like that bowl cut. Okay, but still, I'm sure he's a good-looking man. So what? I don't give a fuck. You're going to undermine me and play games with my life, throw me into a genocide program, and you think how fucking cute do you think you aren't cute at all to me. Physically, you're cute, but who you are as a person, you could die for all I care. You know? And that goes for every single last person who devalued my life. See, I have to think about me in this world. And no, it's not selfish. Quit acting like my goals and my aspirations in life are selfish. I am not a selfish person. I'll tell you what selfish is. Selfish is, or envy, or jealousy, or whatever, is the sort of competitiveness that dwells in you. Okay? I'm not competing for these men. What I do on my free time has nothing to do with these men. It just doesn't. Okay, I'm going to go for a walk outside, whether I was believing that this guy from high school was, going to come and talk to me or not, or whether he isn't. I'm going out for a walk outside. You know why? Because it's boring. Because I've been a victim of this bullshit trafficking for entirely too long, and I didn't deserve it. I wish somebody would have told me that this was some sort of a competition. Because if I would have known, I would have addressed it and knocked that shit in the butt. I would have told everybody right then and there, I'm not going to be interested in participating in your racist contest, which is clearly racist. And I don't even know how you can't see that. Or how somebody in my family couldn't have seen that. But open your goddamn eyes already, okay? I think pretty much that's really all I wanted to say. I don't want to deal with any of you people, okay? I don't want to have any more indirect conversations. Don't waste my fucking time with your bullshit interviews. Don't waste your time with your bullshit, like, cyber stalking and shit like that. And that's exactly what it is. I'm not interested in your games. Okay. The very fact that you can dehumanize someone and play with their life, to me, is no different than throwing a cross on somebody's fucking front yard and setting it ablaze. That is no fucking different to me. Okay. And I don't, and to think that somebody would expect me to have a romantic relationship or a marriage with someone that racist is absolutely absurd. But see, this is the mentality of a lot of white men. They think that women of color want them no matter what. This is what they think. And sadly, there's a lot of black women who would gravitate towards them. You know what I mean? For probably status, maybe, or whatever, But I've never been interested in status, But anyway, I'm getting off the subject. But yeah, don't pick on my shit. I didn't pick on yours. I never thought that just because, I figured, if you want to wear heels to work, even though we're out in a trailer and there was gravel in front of it and stuff like that. You know what? That's your thing. You know what I mean? I don't care. But I had no idea that this racial contest was being put on public display, which that farmer should be sued, by the way, as well as all these other people, including my own family, and they should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. I don't want to ever be a part of I don't want to have any association with this girl from work. Whatever her name is, I don't want to have any association with her. And rightfully so. I mean, why should I? Why would I want to have a relationship with somebody who is basically, I would call this person mentally disturbed. Because I had been divorced for over 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. This is 2 years exactly now. You know what I mean? And I've basically said that these people scare me. They are human traffickers. This is what they do. It's terrifying. That's like me saying, do you want to crawl in bed with a serial killer? Does anybody want to? What would you think that what would come to your mind if somebody suggested that you crawl in bed with a serial killer, or somebody who dug up corpses and had sex with them? You'd be like, oh, God, please. The fear in you would just be overwhelming. And that's exactly how I feel when people think that I would be dumb enough to want to go back to my ex-husband. After this man took my fucking job, threw it up in the air, had a relationship with this psycho stalker, possibly, and I suspect possibly had a child with her. Okay, you can't possibly be any more racist, but you still think that this person's appealing to me. Oh, but what, because he can get me a job? Like I said, keep your shit. Now, people think, well, you guys got together. You guys liked each other. You cared about it. I loved him when I thought he didn't have anything to do with my shit. I don't know this man. Just like, and sadly, I don't even know my blood relations, okay? If somebody does this shit to you, okay, you are a two-faced person, just like the dream. That girl wasn't just representing herself in that dream. She was representing the entire association of the people that I knew. There's one relaxed, mellow person. She's down to earth, you know. And then there's one snooty, snotty person that's willing to kill you and throw you under the bus. This dualistic type personality people. And, you know, like I said, you know, this whole topic of mental illness and people fucking stalking people and sabotaging people and the narcissistic behavior, all of this stuff is far more common than we'd like to think. Okay, and then oftentimes narcissistic people cluster together, associate with each other, and all this other crap. Okay, and it festers and it becomes a demonic entity that you don't want to mess with. Okay, I got dragged into something. I talked to the dude from, I sent a message to him back in 2008. No response from this person. That was it. After I sent you that message, whoever, the guy from high school, well, after I sent you that message in 2008, I hadn't heard from you. So you know what, out of sight, out of mind, move on. Okay, I don't know if you were attached to this network before or after that message or whatever, but don't drag me into your shit. Okay? If you got some sort of issues, murderous intent or whatever, it obviously shows. Okay? Stop trying to put me in the same position that your dad got into. And don't fucking play dumb with me. Anyway, so I think this rant has gone long enough. I have a 13-minute appointment that I have set for myself, and I am determined to make it. Okay? But I don't want these psycho stalkers with murderous intent invading my life anymore. I don't take it as a joke. I don't think it's funny. Okay? You have no right to sit here and impose yourself and try to change my life so that you don't have to feel insecure about these men that aren't worth fuck. They ain't worth shit. Stop being stupid. Okay, anyway, I'll be back with another video some other time later. I gotta wrap this up. Talk to you later. Bye.